Hi, welcome to our video about business expenses. The most frequently asked question is what can you or can you not claim through your business? Put simply, to be able to claim a business expense, it has to be wholly and exclusively for the purpose of the business. What does that mean in practice? In this video, we'll take you through the most common business expenses you'll come across. They'll include travel and subsistence, accommodation, business entertainment, professional subscriptions and other expenses. To be able to claim business travel, the travel has to be exclusively for business purposes. That's 100% business related. Your business travel has to be to a temporary workplace for a temporary purpose and for a limited period of time. Business travel costs can cover the cost of running your own car or public transport. If using your own vehicle, you can claim 45 pence a mile for the first 10,000 miles in any tax year and 25 pence per mile thereafter. You should keep a log of your business miles in case the revenue ever asks to see it. If using public transport, please remember to retain your receipts. Business travel can only be claimed if you're visiting a temporary workplace. A workplace will stop being temporary when you have visited the site for 24 months or more, or at the point when you expect to visit it for 24 months or more. A workplace is also considered to be permanent if you spend more than 40% of your time there. If your workplace is deemed to be permanent, you cannot claim business travel and expenses. Remember, the 24-month rule in relation to business travel is based on your workplace and not your employer. So even if you change employer but are still travelling to the same location, the rules may apply. You will be able to start claiming business travel expenses if a change of location brings with it a significant change to the cost of your journey or the time it takes you to get to work. You can also claim for food, that's subsistence, while travelling to a temporary workplace. Costs need to be reasonable and you must retain your receipts. If you're travelling away from home overnight and will be at a temporary location, you can claim the cost of overnight accommodation. It needs to be reasonable and proportionate. If your new contract is in an area well away from your family home, it may be possible for you to claim the cost of accommodation whilst working away from your family. If renting a property, the cost of the rent needs to be reasonable and fair, it should be less than the cost of a hotel, and the quality of the accommodation should not be significantly higher than that you enjoy at home. You also shouldn't have family and friends come and stay, and the property should have no more than 2 bedrooms. Remember the 24-month rule we talked about earlier? This applies to the cost of accommodation and subsistence as well. HMRC will allow you to claim £4 a week for working at home. This would cover the time it takes for you to keep your books and records. There is a more complex method that looks at the number of rooms you've got, the allocation of your bills across those rooms, and how long you actually spend working at home. The complex method is only really advisable if you work at home for a significant amount of time. And remember, the income you earn from this method should be classed as rental income on your self-assessment. Your membership of a professional body will also be an allowable business expense. Work-related training that relates to your skills and the marketability of your company and can lead to an increase in your company's turnover will also be allowable business expenses. Your business can pay for client entertaining. These entertaining costs are an allowable expense through the business, but they won't attract corporation tax relief. Annual staff entertaining is also allowed. You can spend up to £150 per employee each year on entertaining your staff. Pension contributions can be made one of 2 ways. If your company makes the contribution, there is an annual limit of £40,000. If you make the contribution personally and you're a basic rate taxpayer, the government will add a 20% uplift to the contribution you make. Higher rate taxpayers can receive tax relief through their self-assessment later in the year. Charitable donations are a tax-deductible expense for your company and do good for other causes. But remember, it's important that any charitable donations you make don't create a loss in your company or they will be disallowed. Glasses prescribed purely for the use with computers and screens in the workplace are an allowable business expense. Glasses needed for any other reason are not allowed. Clothing for work is not an allowable expense if it has a duality of purpose. A business suit, for instance, is not allowed by the revenue as a business expense because they see that can be worn both in a work and non-work situation. You can, however, claim uniforms, personal protective equipment and any item of clothing that clearly shows the branding of your business. Your company is able to provide you with a mobile phone. As long as the contract is in the name of the company will get tax relief and you won't incur a benefit in kind. Some expenses paid for by your company on your behalf may attract additional tax. Items such as gym membership, medical insurance and company cars will all lead to a personal benefit in kind. Your company will also incur an additional charge to national insurance, the equivalent of 13.8% of the cash value of the benefit. This video has covered the most common questions we get asked about expenses. There are a lot more expenses that you might want to claim. Why not visit our website, in particular our resource centre, and look at our guide on claiming expenses.